It's everyone's biggest project. There's nobody that can really sit around the table and say, well, I got a story topper for this one. Nobody.
It's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to be successful.
Every day on this installation's been a struggle.
You turn the corner and there's some new challenge.
We just took a little chance. I think it is going to work. But if it didn't, that'd be that.
Yep.
So I think I have 2 done, and now I have 434 to go.
I just keep thinking of it like climbing a mountain, where I'm climbing it, and at a certain point I'm going to get to a place where I just have a different perspective and the view is different, and I'm going to be like, wow, we're up here, this is what we're doing, this is amazing. But right now I'm just kind of like, grabbing on.
We're going to finish bolting this thing together today. We got the right tools. We need some more hardware, some longer bolts. We're going to move from the inside out. When we get the inside bolts together, we can move to the outside of the ring. We are sending Morgan to get the replacement bolts for the flanges around the ring, because we have to replace these bolts with slightly longer bolts and tighten them down with these DTI washers.
It's especially important that all the bolted connections be really strong. So we have these DTI washers, that's a direct tension indicator, and those tell you when you've applied enough torque to the special nuts and bolts that we've selected for these joints.
500 pounds of torque.
And that's a lot of force.
We have to have the threads sticking out a little bit so that when they're all tightened down tight, I can smash the threads.
People who build art don't necessarily have to deal with these problems.
48 down, 48 more to go.
Thing's never coming off.
Birthday boy's coming down to see it swing. It's really nice to see it in the air rather than just plan view and elevation view where everything's kind of flattened out. It's kind of a beautiful form. We have some adjustments to make on the pulleys.
Cable will run from this point around the pulley
and out.
If the cable's off a little bit, then it'll wear funny on the pulley.
Look at this. This one looks kind of scary. 161.
Okay.
Fine.
We're in the clear.
We're going to start feeding the wires in from the outside into the center thimble, which is what controls the whole piece. It'll just be a spoke of wires, 445 cables going in. And then at that point we start to move up with that and work underneath it with a cable net. We're going to have a bunch of these with tags on them hanging off the ring. We don't want like coils of cable hanging loose, so we want to contain this cable as much as we can. But always watch when we're pulling these things straight that we don't have any kink that we're going to pull into it, because that'll create a point of fatigue on the wire. If we kink anything, we got to remake it. Oh, just did something I didn't want to do. We're going to be very, very, very slow and careful whenever these cables come in contact with the deck.
We broke a cable today.
It took us about an hour to repair and remake that wire and get it replaced, bringing the ring down, and I felt bad.
Take a break. So are we on schedule?
Who knows? Who really can know? We have the completion of the control cables running through the pulleys on the ring to the thimble.
The cable, it wants to sag, and the only way to avoid that is to put it under a lot of tension.
This is the Tensitron 3000. It measures tensile strength of cable.
The other thing that those triangles do is they hold down the cables at the cable net. They hold them together so that the cable net can't deform too far.
Fortunately, the cable fairy left me a note.
Much anticipated lower pulleys. Right now we're just going to finger tighten the nuts on there so that when we put the weights on, the whole thing can pull apart as much as it's going to, and then we'll tighten them.
Long days.
We have 500 pounds of sand that we're putting on right now, which represents the amount the artwork pushes down on the truss.
Hold on a second, this thing went off for some reason.
It's actually remarkably flat. I bet it'll look cool when it's in the air too. This is a nice paper finish for the weave dance. Yeah, I mean, I can see the top chord of the truss, and the whole thing just lines up. It's perfect.
The goal is to get into this weave today.
Look at this mess. A little silly here. They're completely all tangled up here as well.
We're really hoping Ruben is well because he wasn't entirely well yesterday.
I feel like it might be getting a little bit of a cold.
We need Ruben on this one more than ever.
I slept in this morning.
We're going to build Ruben's little weave pavilion, the Weave Zebo. We're building a platform. A scaled down version of the ring will come in, and we're going to bring all the cables through the model and start having them walk out to their final destination.
Taking the cables down, getting them to the right places. They all have to cross one another in this special order. And if that order is wrong, then the cables will rub on one another, and that could potentially lead them to break.
You got to know where this goes. It goes on the outside of everything.
246. 170 to S24. 392. 112, but we skipped that. Here we should need to do later. 362. Twist that, not the wire.
Twisting it and then twisting it under the wire.
How about twisting it like this?
Slow down. You got your caught.
Over with 78, or are you going
I'm
under?
going over.
That's the question.
I'm going over.
It's a guess. I think it's a guess.
This is 276. This is cable 276.
When I looked at all the wires coiled up this morning, and I just thought, oh my God, what have we done?
Pull it through this whole mess.
This one is the short one, right? We may have a problem.
I can't tell if it's right or not.
Oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
It was a big gamble.
It's a complete disaster. I was like, oh my gosh, 6 months of work, and this is what it's come down to.
Slow down.
We're gonna get strung up and rode out of town.